Hello guys, what's up? This is Murtaza. Welcome back to a Coder Journey. This is the next episode of my Axios tutorial here at my YouTube channel. This is the ninth episode actually, and if you guys haven't already watched the previous videos, please make sure you do. So far we have covered many different concepts, such as, for example, how to make simple get and post requests. We have implemented interceptors. We have talked about canceling requests, for example, due to timeout. And in this video I'm gonna teach you guys how to make concurrent requests, so running more than one request at a time. And there are a couple of steps which we need to take in order to be able to do that. I'm gonna show you all about these steps in this video. We are in Visual Studio Code. You already know the setup, right? We have a simple HTML file. We have a reference to our Axios minified library. This is the script tag, right? And we have a reference to our app.js where we are going to write our code, right? Now we are basically going to create a new instance of Axios because we want to control the concurrency behavior. Then we're gonna make multiple get requests, and then we're gonna use promise.all to wait for all requests to complete. As I told you, I will probably put in a playlist for promises in JavaScript because I think they are very important. And Axios uses promises behind the scenes, and in this video we're gonna use another feature of promises, and that is promise.all, because we want to wait for all concurrent requests to complete before we do something. Now, in order to be able to make concurrent requests using Axios, first off, we're gonna declare, an instance of Axios. So I'm gonna say const Axios with concurrency, for example, and then I'm gonna say Axios.create, right? So this gives us an instance of Axios, and then we are able to kind of configure the behavior of this instance of Axios. For example, I'm going to say max current request concurrent requests to 2, right? So basically what I am doing is that I want to limit the number of concurrent requests that this instance of Axios is able to make to 2, right? And then I'm gonna make multiple concurrent requests in this part. How? Very simple. I'm gonna declare the requests array, and I'm gonna say array.from. If you're not familiar with JavaScript, I have a playlist on JavaScript. You can go to that playlist and watch. So basically I want to create an array of 5 elements, and then for each element I'm gonna declare a mapping function, and for each element I'm gonna write a request, a concurrent request, and this Axios instance is gonna run them, right, concurrently, and that limits the number of concurrent requests is set to 2. So array.from is going to declare an array for us. So basically here I'm gonna say length of the array is 5, right? And then I'm gonna say this is the mapping function. The first parameter, we're gonna ignore that, and then we need the index, right? And then the body of our function, right? The body of our function is going to be very simple. So basically what I want to do here is to say Axios with concurrency, so that instance, and then I'm going to say get, and here I'm going to use backtick, right? And then I'm going to handle both the then part and the catch part. Let me bring in this simple endpoint here, let me put it here. So basically we are sending these requests to this endpoint, right? And we are adding that index, right? We are incrementing it by 1 and we are adding it as the last, route parameter of our endpoint. So the first one will be, 1, the second one will be 2, and so on. This is a mapping function. When you are declaring, creating an array with array.from, you can basically set the maximum number of elements in that array, which is going to be 5 in this example, and then we have a mapping function. So this mapping function has 2 parameters. We don't want the first one, and the second one is, the index, and I'm going to use that index. The first index is going to be 0, right? And then we've got 1 up to 4, and in each iteration, in each element of that array, we are, incrementing that index by 1, and we are adding it as the route parameter of our URL. And this Axios with concurrency is this instance of Axios that we have created with this, basic configuration. We are setting the maximum number of concurrent requests to 2, and then we are declaring, we are using that get to make a get request. And then again, we have the then part and the catch part. So let's talk about the then part. The then part is when the promise is fulfilled successfully. And I think if you have already watched my previous videos, you already know what we are going to do here. We're going to say console log, right? And in this part, we're going to say, let me put in my backtick, right? We're going to say response, and then we are going to put in the index +1, and then we're going to say response data, right? This is when the promise is fulfilled successfully. We are printing out the index +1, so the index of the request basically, and then we are putting in the response.data. When an error occurs and it is not fulfilled successfully, we are going to say console.error, and then we're going to say, let's put in our backtick. We're going to say error, and then we're going to say index +1, and we're going to say error. So this setup basically creates 5 requests, and then using this instance, we are going to run them concurrently with this limitation. So the maximum number of concurrent requests is going to be 2. And then we are going to use promise.all to wait for all of these requests or these promises to be fulfilled or rejected, right? So we want to know when they are going to complete, and when all of them are complete, we're going to do something. So basically, I'm going to say promise.all, and then what I want to do is to put these requests here. So I'm going to wait for these requests, these promises, all of them to be completed, and then I'm going to say when they are all completed, I'm going to say console log and all requests completed. And then for the catch part, I'm going to say error, and I'm going to say console.error. and say error, right? So let me put a semicolon here. Basically, I am waiting for all of the promises, these requests, right? So this is an array of the requests, the promises. I'm gonna wait for all of them to complete, and then when they are complete, I'm gonna console log that all requests completed. And then when something happens, when an error happens, I'm gonna say something bad happened, the promises were rejected. I'm gonna save all these files and then move to my browser to see how it turns out. So here in my browser, I have opened the file number 9, right? And I'm gonna refresh, and as you guys can see, we have the responses, response 1, 3, 2, 4, and 5. And because these are, these are running concurrently, we cannot determine here the order in which these responses are coming back. So as you can see here, we have the first response, and then we've got the third one, and the second one, the fourth one, and the fifth one. If I refresh one more time, the order changes. So first we've got the third response, the fourth one, the fifth one, first one, and the second one. This is the third one actually. So this is the way you can, run requests with Axios concurrently. And let me go to Visual Studio Code, and you are limiting the number of concurrent requests. Then you are making your array, right? The promises, right? And then you are waiting for all of them. And when they are finished, you are going to say that the requests were completed. And if something happens, you're going to say console.error. And that was it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed watching it. If that's the case, don't forget to give this video a like, share it with a friend. If you've got anything to say, please leave a comment in the comment section. I'd be more than happy to get into a discussion with you guys, and I will see you in the next video.